I thought y'all that shit was tripping. Hold on. I'm waiting for some of y'all to get in. Hold on. Hold on, chat. Hold on. What the fuck? Hold on. You can hear me? Whoever talking? I mean, whoever joined the thing, y'all can hear me? Okay, hold on. I bet. Cool. Alright. I did mic check. Cool. Anyways, what's good to y'all? To the motherfuckers that are in here. So I just want to get into the let me pull up everything because I'm not prepared for this shit. I don't know. Hold on, let me go to it. Chris Brown. All right, there we go. All right, so I'm pretty sure y'all know the topic because apparently my shit was tripping the last time. Chris Brown basically suing Warner Bros. For $500 million over the docuseries that he made or whatever. So let's read into the article. Hold on. Chris Brown is suing Warner Bros. For $500 million. Damn, that is a lot of money. Alleging he was labeled as a serial rapist and abuser in investigation discoveries docuseries Chris Brown: A History of Violence. So if y'all basically don't know the situation or whatever, Chris Brown is basically suing the people who basically made a documentary on him, and it had a lot of false allegations in there, and he proved it to basically be false or whatever. So let me finish reading the article. Brown, through his attorneys, filed the lawsuit in California's Superior Court for Los Angeles County on Tuesday, January 21st. In the court documents obtained by people, the sensational singer, 35, called out the October 2024 docuseries, which showed multiple women coming forward and detailing their alleged experiences with Brown. Brown is suing Warner Bros. Apple and the documentary's producers for alleged defamation, libel, and infliction of emotional distress through the claims made in the documentary. One accuser, identified as Jane Doe, alleges Brown raped her in 2020. The R&B singer's attorney denied claims in the documentary. Wow. So, number one, I was going to give you my honest opinion on it. Every situation that Chris Brown has been in, a lot of people like to come for this man, and a lot of times he shows proof on like who's lying on his name. Like I believe it was a one girl. I think it was a girl that was talking in the background. She sent like multiple messages or whatever, and he basically was like ignoring it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people be lying on this nigga. I ain't gonna lie, but what's the name? I feel like it's always two sides to a story. And I know they touched on the Rihanna situation a lot, and the Rihanna situation. Number one, the Rihanna basically tried to kill them both, and granted, it is wrong to put your hands on a woman. It's very very wrong to put your hands on a woman. But at the same time, you got to look at it like this: Rihanna tried to kill them both. Rihanna was putting hands on Chris the whole entire relationship. Rihanna literally beat this nigga ass multiple times, and it got to a point where Chris snapped on her, and that's literally all it was. Chris, I'm pretty sure Chris didn't want to put his hands on her. I'm pretty sure no man wants to put their hands on a woman, but they were intoxicated, they were drunk, and that's how that shit happened. You know what I'm saying? But look, I know his history of violence ain't really the best or whatever. Like the Karuchi shit, like that's the only thing I can hold on to Chris about is the Karuchi shit, because he was in the wrong for that. But everything else, like all those other shits that Chris Brown has got, like all the shit that people accuse him of, all those are just accusations, and they were proven to be false. So I'm not understanding why people have like you know, what's the word I'm looking for? They have like vendetta on this nigga, and it's just weird as hell to me, bro. Like, you know, they just can't let shit go with Chris, and the shit is getting to the point where it's getting sad. But nah, so look, we gonna watch DJ Academic shit on CB. In his like initial reaction to it, and we gonna react to a lot of motherfuckers talking this shit about CB. So let's get to it, y'all. Let me go to it. Present, share screen. There we go.
Made sexual assault, something like that happened to Chris Brown. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think a lot of people these days, they either like Chris Brown or they have seen him go through so much trials and tribulation, and they know, number one, he's paid his debt to society. He got incarcerated. He admitted what he did wrong. He took accountability. Looks like he's made some effort to try to get better. And I don't think people, and I'm talking about just regular people, I don't think regular people just hold that against him, right? However, it is held against him, it appears, when we talk about opportunities. He's often talked about, yo, they don't want him to perform at award shows. They don't want him.
I feel like that is extremely corny to like to the people that don't want this man to perform. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if there is not enough talent that can like perform on like a high level, like, cause like it's a lot of motherfuckers that are great, it's a lot of motherfuckers that are good, but there's a lot of motherfuckers that can't perform. You know, like, let's look who's the artist that I'm looking for. Okay, let's look at like Taylor Swift as like a primary example. Taylor Swift is one of the most biggest artists in the world. You're not looking for like Taylor Swift to perform. Respectfully, you're just not. So like when you look at like a motherfucker like CB or whatever, he's a motherfucker that could put on a show. And you say he's bad for, bro. Chris Brown has improved as a person for what, ever since he had his daughter or whatever. He's changed, and it's like people just don't see it, bro. But yeah, it's weird that a lot of motherfuckers just don't see how this nigga has changed in the span of what 6 to 7 years, and it's like they're just holding on to these situations of this dude. It's just weird.
Them to blah blah blah. They have taken him off certain shit. So they dropped this documentary, and this documentary clearly it didn't have any substance to it. That's another
At
reason why I didn't
all.
go. It brought up certain people making accusations, but none of them really held any water. So it was just a bunch of people just saying, yo, he did this, he did that, but there wasn't much really there. You get what I'm saying? Now, we could read through this a little bit, but essentially they were promoting that this nigga's like a goddamn
A
abuser,
serial
right?
killer.
Now, the reason why Chris Brown's filing this lawsuit, and the reason why I do like this lawsuit, is that this lawsuit is going to be going directly at the
Facts.
publishers of this documentary, because this documentary essentially put out a bunch of unproven facts and possible lies that definitely has, maybe not in the mind of people, affected Chris Brown's legacy career.
Then that's the thing that I also just don't understand. Why do people want to sit there and ruin a man's legacy after this nigga has changed? I don't get it. I don't get it. This man has literally worked his ass off for years trying to change for y'all, not for himself, but for y'all, his fans. His fans see it, but it's like other people don't see it. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. People gotta understand, at the end of the day, bro, we are human. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people aren't perfect, and we're gonna find ways to actually like better ourselves as humans. So it's like I'm just not understanding that, bro.
Career or whatever in terms of what a fan would think. But most likely, if there were companies that were finally getting past the 2009 incident, I believe it was 2009, where him and Rihanna got into it, this kind of brought it back up, and I'm pretty sure he lost out on opportunities business wise,
Yep.
and I'm pretty sure that could be proven through whether
And people not gonna like this take. Chris Brown. Chris Brown's the reason why Rihanna's career is the way it is. But we gonna get into that another episode.
emails with his agents, conversations, or business deals that were on the table that got removed. So that's why he's filing this $500 million defamation suit. Again, I'm comparing it slightly to the Drake thing because I think Drake would have a good case if two things, right? If Kendrick was just tweeting, if Kendrick was a streamer, I think there'll be a great case. I think Drake's case isn't as good because once you start to introduce art, you open up a can of worms that I don't even think you're ready and willing to deal with, right? Again, usually art in certain sense is a protective form of speech that, it's not meant as really just declaratory statements. It's meant as kind of expression. So if Kendrick had just like tweeted it and he sued him, I would completely think that Drake would be probably going to win that, right? Because it's music, that's why I'm like, Then the second thing is, I think that Drake's lawsuit, I don't really like it because he not suing the nigga who said the shit. If you're gonna sue, you gotta include everybody. You should put the engineer. Mustard should be getting sued, okay? Mustard on the lawsuit, okay? That's what really should be happening. Mustard should have got sued. Kendrick should have got.
See, no, I don't agree to like DJ Mustard and Kendrick getting sued because at the end of the day, you gotta understand it is a rap battle. Drake is the one that signed up for it, bro. You know what I'm saying? So this is where you kind of like lose me with it because you gotta understand when it comes to battle rap, like especially like with the Jay-Z's, the Nas's, in the history, Tupac's, the Biggies, it's no holds barred, bro. So it's like they're gonna say whatever the hell they want to say. Shit, fucking Nas called Jay-Z the F word, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's no holds barred to diss battles, and I feel like that's what he's kind of not getting. You know what I'm saying? But now let's get to it.
Got sued. Now, again, I don't like the suing for music, right? And I still think that's not going to pass. But that's where I'm seeing the differences between this Chris Brown lawsuit and the Drake lawsuit. The Drake lawsuit, I think Drake was trying to keep his cool and be like, all right, I'm trying to keep his cool in rap, which about to completely backfire. I'm not suing Kendrick. I'm suing UMG and hoping that people would be able to differentiate the difference and kind of root for him. Instead, everybody just said, yo, this is weak, right? Chris Brown's lawsuit, I think, is very well.
But I feel like the difference between Drake's lawsuit and Kendrick and Chris Brown's lawsuit, number one, I don't think Drake should have never sued because once again, Drake's in a position where he's in a rap battle. And, when you're in a rap battle, it's no holds barred. You know what I'm saying? Drake do got people coming for him, but at the same time, Drake was in a rap battle. If you get what I'm trying to say, Chris Brown is suing people that try to make false narratives about him. When you look at Drake's my favorite hip hop artist of all time. It's literally a video of him kissing a kid, bro. I think Drake was like 23 and Shorty was like 17, 18. I don't think she said she cared about it, but bro, you shouldn't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be kissing no kid. So it's like Drake kind of like brought that upon himself in a way. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of have to blame Drake in a way because he put himself in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Same with CB. CB put himself in some situations, but with this like documentary, that's like completely different because a lot of people tried to make false narratives about him.
It's very well put together, and also the basis of his lawsuit covers all grounds. Hey, I'm going to sue the production company, okay? I'm going to sue Warner Brothers Discovery. I'm going to sue even Apple for having this being available and publicizing it and promoting it when these type of, as they call it, sensationalized, unfounded, and defamatory allegations ended up hurting his career. And again, where's the proof, right?
Now, I will say this. I feel like if Chris Brown finds a way to win this lawsuit, I feel like a lot of people will actually come back and they will actually like start to like mess with him because a lot of people like to spread false allegations on him. And once he wins this case or whatever, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, like, a lot of shit about Chris Brown is false or whatever. I'm not going to say everybody's going to turn on Chris Brown because I feel like a lot of people have animosity towards the Rihanna situation and the Karuchi shit. But a lot of shit that people accuse him for, I feel like they going to turn out to be like, okay, a lot of shit that people accuse him for is false. So, you know what I'm saying? Chris Brown, maybe he has changed as a person, and maybe I can like, you know what I'm saying, I can maybe fuck with his music instead of like, the individual person, that a lot of people make him seem to be, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people make it seem like he's like an evil ass dude when, when you look at, him being a father to his kids, him donating to like charity, him going to like other countries, performing, him putting on for other artists. People don't look at that Chris Brown. They only look at him abusing women, and and a lot of that shit comes out to be false. You know what I'm saying? So no, I feel like if he wins this lawsuit, a lot of narratives are gonna change about Chris Brown.
By the way, the next thing we're going to get into, and we're going to get into after this topic, is Diddy doing the same thing. So we're now seeing like these entertainers basically almost try to keep what they got going on, and they're filing lawsuits back, right? Now the Diddy stuff I'm going to talk about because that kind of goes a little bit in a different lane. So let's stick with the Chris Brown stuff, okay? All right. So again, the documentary or whatever, the docuseries or whatever it was, I think it was a documentary, right?
Yeah.
Chris Brown, A History of Violence, right? So let's just read through this. And by the way, this is a Billboard article. So it said Chris Brown filed a lawsuit. Hold on. Against Warner Brothers Discovery, alleging the media giant had defamed him with the 2024 ID Network documentary claiming that the R&B star had a long history of sexually abusing women, right? It was filed in Superior Court, and the complaint accuses Warner Brothers Discovery and Ample Entertainment, this is a production company, they were the production company behind this thing, of promoting and publishing false information in the pursuit of likes, clicks, downloads, and dollars to the detriment of the R&B star, all while knowing it was all.
That's what all women are trying to get out this nigga is just dollars. It's like that for every celebrity. It's not like that for just CB. It's like that for a lot of these celebrities. A lot of them, if you don't have proof or nothing like that, then there's no proof. I mean, there's no point of coming after these people. So it's like I don't understand why a lot of men and a lot of women like to come for these celebrities without no proof. If there's no proof, then there's no purpose of like coming after these motherfuckers. Like I can understand like the R. Kelly situation, the Diddy situation, a lot of these other situations, but like, a lot of celebrities get accused for these weird things or whatever, and it's like there's no evidence on it. So what's the point of like making false accusations on it if there's like no evidence to back it up? You know what I'm saying?
Full of lies, deception, and violating basic journalistic principles. They did so after being provided proof that their information was false, their storytelling. Ooh, this is actually good. They did so after being provided proof that their information was false and their storytelling. Jane Doe had not only been discredited over and over, but was in fact a perpetrator of intimate partners' violence and aggressor herself. Reads the lawsuit, which was filed by attorney. Okay. Mr. Brown has never been found guilty of any sex-related crime, but his documentary states in every available fashion that he's a serial rapist and a sexual abuser. The Jane Doe who made sexual assault accusations against Brown in the documentary, whom he identifies in the lawsuit, is also named as a defendant in his complaint, which alleges the woman completely disregarded the facts in the attempt for fame and fortune, all at the cost of Chris Brown and the reputation he has worked so diligently in redeeming over the last decade. The sensationalized, unfounded, defamatory allegations in the documentary have been discredited, dismissed by the courts, and outright fabricated. Now, this is going to be very interesting. I'm going to bring a few things into this because I like to have like an expansive discussion. So, here's the thing about certain allegations, like the allegations of somebody being a criminal is a very serious allegation, right? Now, clearly, when you accuse someone of being a pedophile, of being a rapist, these things, especially a rapist, that actually holds the weight to where that is a crime, right? That's a crime in the first degree in every state. If you say that and this person has been either acquitted in a court of law or somehow been vindicated.
Hold on, y'all. We're going to come back to this DJ Academics video. I want to show you guys another video on Chris Brown's lawyer. Hold on. Present, share screen.
We know that there's always going to be some women, some men out there that try to take advantage of these celebrities and try to exploit them and try to make money off them. There's lots of them. Where this could be stopped and where the responsibility has to lie is with people like Warner Brothers. When you have giant companies with all of these smart people that are in there making these decisions, and the decision is we're going to take this one girl who's been completely discredited story and protect her identity and treat her like a victim and put this out there for the public eye, and we're going to smash these celebrities and we're going to throw them under the bus and we're going to ruin their life because it will make Warner Brothers a little bit more money. That's not right. And that's not good. And I'll just say it right here. Shame on you, Warner Brothers. Shame on you, big companies, for doing this to people's lives. Because at the end of the day, people are more important than companies. Every single person in this country, from the lowliest to whoever you think is on the top, is more important.
Now, this is what I have to say about this. So, you mean to tell me making a documentary about false allegations is better for business than, you know, inviting somebody to like a celebrity game? Like you think that's good for business? You think making a documentary on somebody is more like that's better than actually, like, you know, inviting them to like a game or like just like a, you know, award show or just like anything in general? You think that's good for business? You think that's good to like ruin somebody's life? Think about that. You think it's good to make a documentary about a man and, like, you know, mind you, his kids have to watch this shit and watch people just drag his name through the roof. I think that's fine. I just don't understand that. People think it's fine to ruin a man's legacy, ruin his reputation, ruin his kids' reputation. Like, his kids have to go to school and they got to live with that. You know what I'm saying? That's fucked up if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? But but it's wrong for Chris Brown to get invited to like a Ruffles game or an All-Star game or like perform anywhere, and that's bad for business? I'm not understanding that.
And the biggest companies in this country. Again, for people to continue to profit off of his name and at the same time hurt his name is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy. Niggas want to profit off him being an abuser, but they don't want to profit of Chris Brown being an actual generational talent. That doesn't make sense to me. How I understand how you can one of the greatest performers to ever exist. You can invite him to like one of your shows. He can perform and put on a show. But y'all want to make a documentary on this nigga instead? That doesn't make sense to me. That just doesn't make sense. I just don't understand that. And mind you, they didn't make any money off this shit. So
the producer, the director, the people involved, the distribution company, the folks that show it, all of them need to be held responsible so they'll quit doing this to Chris. Secondly, I think the message he wants to get out strongly is after 15 years of just kind of laying down and trying to take it and apologizing, he's tired. He's tired. People keep coming after him and exploiting him, exploiting his name, exploiting his talent, exploiting his brand for these cheesy documentaries, and he's done with it. You know, he's going to do something about it. You know, Chris has apologized and sought treatment and paid thoroughly.
Chris Brown acknowledges he does have a history of violence. He has been very forthcoming about it.
Well, we've seen it.
And we've all seen it. But he says the history of violence in relation to him that was put forward in a documentary, the title was Chris Brown, A History of Violence, that came out last fall. He says that one is filled with a really ugly lie, one that is so ugly he decided he needed to file a massive lawsuit against the producers. It's produced by Warner Brothers and Investigation Discovery, and he has filed a $500 million lawsuit against them, specifically because there is an accuser in that documentary who calls Chris a serial rapist. And he says before they put out this documentary, his team was made aware that they were going to have this person on the documentary saying this. And he says that we provided them plenty of evidence that that was an outright lie, and they still went ahead and did it. So now he is taking this to court.
Yeah, and he's suing for $500 million, which sounds like
literally they just did this to make a quick buck because of the whole Dan Schneider shit. Shit is sad.
an exorbitant amount, but he's a very successful artist. This would obviously impair his reputation in a very serious way. But these allegations were brought by a Jane Doe initially in a lawsuit. The lawsuit was subsequently withdrawn, but it's out there in a public record. Now, I guess the producers would have, not be able to overlook contrary evidence. They should have folded it into the documentary, but he's really opening the door to just examining his entire life by suing for defamation. That's what he's done.
So they acknowledge in the documentary that her lawsuit was withdrawn?
Yes, they say that this was initially a Jane Doe lawsuit. That was the basis of these allegations that were mentioned in the documentary that was subsequently withdrawn. And they say it was withdrawn because they said these were false allegations and threatened to sort of fight back vociferously. So they were withdrawn.
So I have a couple of questions. Number one, is she the person that provided the information that Chris Brown said was BS?
That is the implication, yes.
And the allegation he's making.
So I'm just not understanding. If the nigga shows you multiple evidence he shows you evidence that the bitch is lying, and I don't mean to call no woman no bitch. I'm just being real. She's a bitch. She's a bitch for that shit. Why would you still post it in your documentary? I'm not understanding that. What, just to get money off this nigga?
Making in his
Y'all just made yourself look bad at this point.
lawsuit is not just that the documentary called him a rapist, but a serial rapist. So how did they get the serial part in there?
I haven't seen the documentary. I assume that they have leveled up lots of allegations. They're really focusing in on this one particular set of allegations in this lawsuit, but I would imagine if you watch the documentary, the serial part is laid out and the violent tendencies over time by just other stories about him.
So the standard for a defamation lawsuit for somebody like Chris Brown, since he's a celebrity, is either proving that they knew it was false or they engaged in a reckless disregard of the truth. So the issue is going to be, did they have enough information to at least that where a reasonable person would know, or
you know what I feel like these motherfuckers did? The writers, the producers. I just feel like they gathered a bunch of bullshit, like the Paris Hiltons, the motherfucking and the rest of these weirdos that just don't like this nigga, and they just said fuck it. We gonna listen to y'all, and we just gonna run with it. We just gonna run with it. Like, come on, gang. no evidence, no proof, no nothing. Y'all just gonna listen to the bullshit. Y'all listen to motherfuckers that don't know this nigga.
Or even a person with a modicum of judgment would know
Come on
that this is unproven, unsubstantiated, and maybe untrue, right?
I think that's exactly right. Did they recklessly disregard, meaning did they turn a blind eye to? Did they stick their head in the sand with contrary information? But as you said, he's a public figure, so that's a very high standard. And he has now put the issue of defamation on the table. He's going to have to prove that these were defamatory statements, which does open the door
What's
to
good to the people that
examining his
just
life.
joined?
Well, does he have to prove it, or do they have to show what they used to establish the allegation?
He has said they're lying, right? So,
Right, so they have to
are
say
going
no,
to
they have
assert
to
that
say-
we are not lying.
Well, right, but if he says you're lying, it's not true, the burden's kind of on them at that point to show. Well, I mean, he does have to show why it's not true.
The burden is on him to show that he was defamed. Absolutely.
Well,
He
no,
has
no, no,
brought a
but-
cause of action.
But at a point, they're going to have to ante up why they believed it was true if he presents evidence that it may not be true.
That's correct, and that's when the burden would maybe shift.
That's
But
what I'm
they're
saying.
going to put their whole plate of evidence of why they went forward with this documentary. He will have to refute that, and then you're going to have to balance whether they disregarded the truth.
And again, not having seen the full documentary, I just know in the lawsuit, Chris has included documentation of that about why this woman was lying in his eyes, and he says that that was proven, and that's why she withdrew the lawsuit in the first place. So it seems.
Wait, didn't this nigga I said this earlier, he literally posted messages of her lying multiple times. Multiple times. That's all you gotta do is just show those messages. Literally, it's literally messages of the bitch just straight up lying. And they put the shit in the documentary of the bitch lying. Like, what are we saying? And then they want to say, oh, this nigga was deleting messages, this, that, and the third. What grown man would delete messages of a girl? Like, come on, gang. Come on, bro. Like these people gotta understand, this nigga could have any girl he wants, bro. Any girl. It's Chris Brown. It's Chris Brown. He can have any bitch he wants, bro.
Seems to me like he is putting the burden on Warner Brothers and Investigation Discovery.
Seems that way to me too.
Hi, my name is Angie Monroe and I am from the UK. I do believe Chris Brown is guilty as he has a history of accusations. I believe women should be accounted for and heard. No means no.
Yeah, except in this case, she withdrew it. So that never got
Right,
adjudicated.
so it wasn't like it was proven in court.
Yeah, I mean, she withdrew.
These women just want something out of this nigga. I don't get it. But thank y'all for watching. This was like a little minute live on this shit. You know what I'm saying? I had to say what the fuck I had to say because, you know what I'm saying, it's really getting ridiculous with this whole Chris Brown shit, and it's not even funny anymore. Like, gang, leave the nigga alone and let this nigga be, bro. Like, he got a family, he got kids, you know what I'm saying? And the fact y'all niggas are actually trying to come for this nigga, come on, bro. Like, let the nigga just make his music and actually, you know, do whatever he gotta do. Because nigga don't be on shit for real. Y'all only come for this nigga when he's doing well with his music. You know what I'm saying? Once he went on tour and once he started breaking records, that's when all these niggas want to come out to Chris Brown. And the shit is getting weird. This shit's been happening since 2017. But thank y'all for tuning in, bro.